It is the award-winning InWheelTime Car Talk Show. Just ahead, founder of Mango Automotive. And we're going to talk about car repairs and the business of car repairs. And this is quite the success story, and I think that you're going to enjoy this. Later, Jeff has the racing calendar, and Mr. Mars has This Week in Auto History. And, of course, as always, I'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars in Studio 2. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. David Ainsley, by the way, we spoke with him earlier today. Yes, he's alive and well with the cat Larry. He was having coffee.
He was having coffee with Larry, yeah.
So thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate this for our live Memorial Day weekend show. And if you're listening on a podcast, thank you very much for picking us. We appreciate it. All right, let's go over to a very special person, and I say that because we don't really know this person. Jesse Jackson is with us, and very successful. I was just kind of running through Mango Automotive, and Jesse, congratulations. You took a so-so repair place, bought some other shops, and now you're killing it.
She's a mogul.
A mogul, that's it. So have you been called a mogul before?
I have not. Thank you. I'll take that compliment. I'll take any compliment I can get. I have 7 kids, so thankfulness and compliments are hard to come by.
Oh, my God. She's got 7 kids. Honey, you're not old enough to have 7 kids.
Oh, thank you. There was a cute moment where I had 7 kids and 7 automotive repair shops, but never to be repeated, because now I've got 8 shops and I'm not having an 8th kid.
Okay, well, we'll just go with that.
Mike is actually up for adoption. We've got Mike up for adoption if you want to take him.
Yeah, there's that. All right, so let's talk about you for a second. And how did you get into the automotive repair business to begin with? I mean, did Dad work at an auto repair shop or what?
Well, one of my grandfathers owned an aviation repair shop in LA, and my other grandfather owned a hitch repair shop, or a hitch shop. There's a lot of distance between them and me. I got my degree in environmental engineering, and then I got into software product, and I happened to stumble into ownership of a automotive piece of software, so I knew a ton about the industry. We were in the paintless dent repair space. But when I started understanding the troves of owners in the brick and mortar space that were looking to retire and spend time with their families, I saw an opportunity there.
And so you acquired them, but you started at one place, right?
Yeah, but we got to do one first.
Yeah. So you actually bought a shop. Is that correct?
That's right. I bought a shop when I knew nothing about it. Luckily, my third call was to another shop owner who was interested in what I was doing, and he became my business partner. I didn't know how badly I needed a COO, but I was very lucky to find him.
Well, that's kudos to you for including them in this, because let me tell you something. I worked at a car dealership one time. It had a huge service department. It was a Chevrolet dealership, huge service department. And this is back in the day. And they turned a lot of cars there. They sold a bunch of cars. They had the right location. And I guess they priced it right. And so I worked in the new car make-ready department. And let me tell you something, that in itself was an education. I had no clue what goes into new car make-ready. Anyway, with that in mind, I can only imagine, of course, you're a very smart lady, obviously, with a degree and everything. And so you learn quickly, and I guess you had a few mistakes had to have along the way, especially in that first shop that you had.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, our first shop when we acquired it was doing $750K. Now it's doing almost $3 million. So we had just 2 techs in the back, and we hired a service advisor. My business partner was doing all of the, covering for lunch, all of that fun stuff. So we've certainly had to learn to have
adapt
systems and processes.
Operationals.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously quite successful in turning it around. What was the secret in turning around that first car repair place?
Oh my gosh. So a lot of automotive repair shops right now are run by owners who have built this from scratch over the last 30 or 40 years, and they don't want to grow. They're just happy with where they are. So I think there's no secret sauce. We elevated the customer experience and we marketed and we hired the right people. And sometimes the people that help you get from a $1 to $2 million shop are not the same people that can help you get from a $2 to $3 million shop.
Well, yeah, obviously, because you've got to grow with the marketing
Right.
company, and the marketing company has to be able to handle the volume that you do. And to grow that business, you got to get more customers. Well, how do you do that? You got to be innovative. You got to have an education. You got to have some experience and all of that. I just am amazed that you've been able to acquire these other dealerships and grow yours in a very short period of time. 3.5 years.
Well, that's old data. Now we're almost 4.5 years, 4 years
Okay.
and change. And yeah, we've gone 0 to 20 million in that time. And
You've got
0
to
to
grow the
3
employees
years,
too.
I think we hit 8 figures. So that was a big moment that I was excited for.
Awesome.
Well, I mean, you got to be proud.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's hard. I'm a standard entrepreneur. So I just, as soon as we hit a goal, I've got another goal in mind. My business partner and I are classically terrible at celebrating, hitting a goalpost. We're just always aiming for the next goalpost.
What was the biggest thing that you overcame early on in these dealerships, repair facilities?
Well, I mean, for me, it was all about talking to the owners and finding the automotive repair shops to start with. And I think there's a struggle that we have as humans where we want to see ourselves as we want to see continuity in ourselves. So when I went from software to saying I was going to buy all of these brick and mortar automotive repair shops, one of my previous business partners just kept saying to me, Jesse, I just can't see you doing this. And by proclaiming that I was going to build an 8-figure automotive repair empire, I was saying that I was going to do something that I had never done before. So by all measures, the previous Jessie 1.0 didn't have all the tools she needed to, run a $20 million enterprise. So I had to build myself into Jessie 8.0. So there's a little bit of cognitive dissonance that exists there. And even just the very early steps of calling shop owners, I had a policy that I would eat the frog every morning and do the hard work every morning. And I would call 3 automotive repair shops on a bad day and 5 on a good day, which isn't that many, but it adds up if you do it every day. And for the first 6 weeks, I cried every day after because I was uncomfortable making cold calls. So I think, my secret has been just no matter how I feel about doing the thing, I just do the thing anyway. And a lot of people spend much time analyzing, thinking about whether they should do the thing, how they're going to do the thing, and they never actually get to the doing. There's a lot of space to make mistakes and not do it perfectly so long as you're actually doing it, moving toward your goal.
Because if you
Wow.
don't
Yeah.
do it, you absolutely won't make a mistake, but you won't ever get it done either.
Yeah, that's right. Safe.
Obviously, you've built these businesses with people. So you obviously have a knack in choosing the right people to help you because there's no way that one person could do all of this on their own, I don't think, and do it so quickly. It would take years and years and years because it's only one person. You can only do so much in one day. But you had to have some help along the way. And obviously, you're a great motivator. We want to come work for you right now, as a matter of fact. So, but I think that there's a lot to be said about the people that you've chosen.
It is. Yeah, definitely people are key. My business partner, as I mentioned earlier, was just the best early decision that I ever made. And he and I essentially, we have our in-shops crew, which of course, super thankful to have them on board. But in terms of the corporate team, he and I did everything up until we had 5 shops. So we were HR, we were finance, we were accounts payable, we were accounts receivable, we were, recruiting, we were marketing. And then we just literally broke. I looked at him in the back office of our 5th shop the day that we acquired it, and I saw on his face that he was collapsing. And so at that time, we made a decision to hire finance, human resources, and a district manager, which we could barely afford at the time. But as we were hiring those roles, we kept one thing in mind, which was we wanted to hire people that were better than us. And I think that we have accomplished that successfully. Like, we often look at our district manager and think he's a better representation of the culture we want to build than we are. And so we sort of see that across the board in all of our corporate roles for sure.
Did you hire any old guys? Did you hire guys with lots of experience and maybe a little bit of attitude? Shut up, Mars. I see you
Well,
over
he's
there.
up for adoption,
Yes,
so let him go.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. We definitely have a few key members in management roles inside our shops, and one of them I'll call out in particular, Frank of our Cottonwood shop. And he had his own shop and retired and decided to come back. And we were lucky enough to find him and hire him at Cottonwood. And that man, we send new team members to him and he just turns them into winners, and we spread them across our Albuquerque shops. But anyone who comes into their shops has the incredible opportunity to learn from him. And he's built, one of our other incredible managers, Tara, came straight from him as a service advisor. He's amazing at building team members.
So are you using the same brick and mortar buildings that you acquired, or have you had to tear them down or revamp them? How's that all work for you?
Yeah, they're the same, but our branding is very much, I think a traditional automotive repair shop, they're sort of known for, there's a pot of burnt coffee on the stove and you don't want to sit down because the couches have oil on them, and there's a 5-year-old Sports Illustrated sitting on the coffee table. So our shops are definitely feel clean and modern, and someplace you actually want to hang out at. In fact, there's something that happens when we bring a new customer to a shop. They'll call, make an appointment, walk into the door, look around, absolute look of confusion on their face. And we just let them at this point walk back out of the front door, look up at the sign and assure themselves that they're in an automotive repair shop, and then come back in the door.
Well, that sounds like it's got your fingerprints all over it. Because because you got 8 kids, so you got to have something going on all the time. The new toys on the block, so to speak. It's got to be clean. It's got to be organized, and you got to have a place to do all of this stuff. So apparently, you've done some work inside those repair
That's right.
shops.
We call that the pink wall effect. And my business partner and I have revamped every one of them with our own 2 hands. I don't know why we do it, but even our 8th shop we just acquired, I was in there with a sledgehammer tearing down a wall. My daughter was painting the walls. We were getting it done.
I love it. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I was going to say, you mentioned earlier that, some of the older guys some of the shops you've acquired and stuff, the guys built the business. And you're describing exactly in my mind what I was visualizing. Here's this guy, he's built this business up. He's comfortable with it the way it is. That's the way he's done it for the last 40 years. So he keeps doing it that way. And you come in with some refreshed eyes. You update everything, and people notice that, and they can see that. And it sounds you're very energetic, and it sounds like that bleeds over into it.
Look, not everyone loves the things you do. We have a pink wall in all of our shops. We had a customer come into our downtown shop and see the pink wall, and this guy was mad. He was mad that we had spent our money to paint that pink wall, and he didn't like it. And he was telling our manager, who was the same as the manager under the previous owner, and then he turned around and mumbled under his breath, "But I'm still going to come here because my tech's here." So if you do things even a little different, even if you think you're making them better, when people get mad at us, we're like, all publicity is great.
That's right. They
Publicity is great.
noticed, so it worked.
That's right. That's with our branding too, Mango Automotive. Oh, our competitors hated the name. My mother-in-law hated it. Everyone hated the name Mango Automotive. But I was like, but you never forget it.
It's different. It is definitely different.
It's funny when Mike said that we were going to interview, I thought, Mango Automotive. I'd buy something there. I don't know what it would be. Now, okay, so let's talk about the service department for a minute. What do you service? All vehicles, trucks, cars, everything?
Basically everything. We don't service vintage vehicles. or something we can't afford to, if it gets a scratch on it, then we can't afford to fix it. So
Right.
super high-end vehicles, but we service everything. Of course, primarily, ICE vehicles. We do service EVs and hybrids as well.
Well, so AVs and hybrids. So you obviously have invested in quite a bit of equipment, diagnostic equipment, trying to figure out what in the world's going on with this car. They bring it in and it's not running the way it's supposed to run, and so that takes a huge investment in itself.
Yeah, I would say the investment in EVs is not as huge as you might anticipate. We got our local university when we were just Albuquerque based to spin up a course for our technicians. I mean, look at our techs are geniuses. Look at what they do on a traditional vehicle. An EV vehicle is yes, it's got the computer, but your modern day vehicles do as well. It's by all intents and purposes less complicated than a traditional vehicle. So you take someone who's a genius already, right? A master tech, our shop foreman, and train them in working on an electric vehicle. And it's not that big of a leap for them as much as you would expect. There is the diagnostic tools, and we have to keep a few safety tools on hand, but that's about it.
How is it trying to get help? Because I understand that there's a huge need for actual mechanics themselves. Has that been a problem for you?
For sure. I would say there is not enough mechanics to go around for all the owners that want them. And there's a lot of owners who don't do the right things to attract those mechanics. So, my business partner, we never yell, we pay well, we're closed on weekends, and people hear about us and they want to work for us. Part of our culture is having fun, which seems silly, but we spend so much of our lives at work, and we like to hire people who can have fun working. And we develop, like in Albuquerque where we started, and we currently have 4 shops, we've developed a reputation in the city, and people call us and they want to work for us. So we don't really feel that shortage of technicians as much as perhaps some of the industry does.
Have you ever heard of
Good for you.
Buc-ee's?
A Buc-ee's, the gas station? Yeah, I used to live in Texas.
Okay, well, then you know how he grew his business. It started off as nothing more than a glorified 7-Eleven store down in Angleton, Texas, and look where he's gone. I'm seeing you taking Mango Automotive national and maybe building shops right next door to Buc-ee's.
I love that. Now I'm going to explore the Buc-ee's founder. Of course, you have to love those gas stations. It's lovely
Yes.
when you're driving through nowhere, Texas, to have a stop at a Buc-ee's.
There's no doubt about it. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. We are very thrilled to get to know you, and we see great things happening for Mango Automotive. Is there some place that we can go online to learn more about your business?
Well, of course, you can go to mangoautomotive.com.
That'll
Or
work.
if there's any shop owners out there that are interested in retiring, you can shoot me an email, jesse@mangoautomotive.com.
Wonderful. Jesse, it is an honor. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. This is a woman with 8 children, and she's taken out the time to talk to us this
Don't
morning.
get that confused. 7 kids and 8 shops.
Oh,
You got it backwards there.
and
Yeah.
Mike's going to send you his resume. Send him your resume, Mike.
So we
Jesse-
kind of balance the load a little bit.
That's it. Jesse,
Lovely
thanks.
chatting to you all. Thank you.
Thank you, and have a great Memorial Day weekend. We appreciate you. All right. You're invited to join us again next week for our live show, 10 to noon Central Time. Listen, watch on InWheelTime.com, Facebook, and YouTube. If you miss it, you can connect through a podcast from your favorite podcast channel anytime. We're back at the racing calendar and auto history right after this break on InWheelTime. Stay with us.
The Tex-Mex dining experience is defined by Loopy Tortilla, your destination for Texas's best beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. Since 1983, Lupi Tortilla has served authentic and time-tested recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Atmosphere is part of the award-winning experience at Lupi Tortilla, all developed in a little house near Highway 6 and I-10 in Houston. Visit any of the Lupi Tortillas and you'll see the same attention to detail in each and every location. Start your Lupi experience with queso flammeado and guacamole, along with a classic frozen margarita. Dine on famous Lupi beef and chicken fajitas or pepper shrimp brochette, or a fish or vegetarian entree, and finish with a scrumptious flan for dessert. Find Lupi Tortilla in Houston, College Station, Beaumont, Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas-Fort Worth. There's a Texas location near you. The recipes are authentic and time-tested. The ingredients always fresh. Lupi Tortilla. Eats pretty good. Join the InWheelTime Car Talk Show as we hit the road for a live broadcast from the 51st Annual Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run at Hewlett Park in Granbury. This once-a-year rolling car collection takes place June 12th through the 14th. Check out hundreds of classic street rods, vendors, giveaways, awards, and family fun. Best of all, spectator admission is absolutely free. InWheelTime will be live from Granbury Saturday, June 13th, 9 to noon. Get all the deets at lssra.com. That's it for this podcast episode of the InWheelTime Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.